Moon-stricken, animal in need, bad seed, untamable.
Video. I'm new to this, so I'm just trying to get some content on my channel and give you guys some stuff to check out. I'm gonna jump right into it, and here's the video that no one wants to see. No, I'm just playing. No, though, really, I think that I don't know. I don't see anyone. I do, but I don't. Yeah. This is gonna be a video about builds that I don't think are like they're used. They're kind of just for example, like hardwire. I see a lot of people. They're like, oh, hardwire's trash, this and that. Hardwire is still super viable. Anyways, I'm not going to get into all that. I'm just going to chat with you a little bit here and tell you about a really strong universal build. Okay, and that's just going to be a really simple hardwire seeker build. Okay, I'm actually going to go into the fire range too to show you a couple things here. So this is actually a build that I have used from day one because it's so strong. When I say day one, I'm talking like a year ago. If you remember when skill builds were not good, I was using seekers to still just kill all content. And still to this day, this is very, very good. A lot of people now, I feel like, are using, you know, turret drone type thing. I think this is right up there with turret drone. It's just a little bit different. Yep, so right into it. Speaking of turret drone, sometimes I think that like the turret, like sheet DPS is like paper DPS. Like I don't want to get into it too much, but like sometimes the turret is suppressing the enemies. I actually didn't like the turret build at first, but that thing is freaking strong, and I have one now as well. But I still love both of these builds, but I never see anyone using this, and it's, yep, anyways. I do feel like the turret is suppressing the enemy sometimes, though, where as a seeker, it is going and not suppressing the enemy. It's doing the opposite. It's going and killing suppressed enemies, where I think is one of its strong points. And as well, if there's some kind of bad turret placement or the turret can't hit certain ads that may be around a corner or behind, you know, material, suppressed, I guess you could say, but a little bit different than suppressed, just like out of turret range. These are also still going to go and hit this. This is why a seeker build is still able to do more damage than a turret build sometimes. I've been in some games with some really good players, and I've seen a lot of back and forth action going. Sometimes seekers win, sometimes turret wins in terms of DPS. So I don't think that a lot of people would really expect for seekers to be able to compete that hard. Now this being hardwire, which as well, I mean, if you switch out hardwire for something else, I think maybe you get like a pinch more damage. I don't even think it's very much damage. But besides that, the thing here is we use short circuit. That's the main thing about this, is to get that cooldown. So you get your seekers right back, right? So obviously this is not easy. You're gonna see these get murdered. But the thing is you can drop your hive and just put your seekers right back out. Now a lot of people don't know that. I think that's one of the things that also hurt the seeker build. A lot of people don't know you can just drop the hive and pick it up and throw your seeker. You don't actually have to destroy your hive. I only know of this working with 2 different skills. I think there might have been a third one that got changed, but as far as that being, you know what, too, this is on. Let me turn this off just so the video doesn't look like, oh, you had skill haste enabled or whatever. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so the only way that that's gonna work is if you have a hive. You can drop your hive and pick it up, or if you have a shield. A shield will also instantly do it. Now if you use another skill, like say you're running a turret, by the time like the timing gets messed up, and you're not actually able to like continuously drop the seekers every like 10 seconds, for instance. It's going to start getting messed up, and sometimes it's going to be like 15 seconds between a seeker, and it's going to be etc. So the shield in the Hive is the actual only way to keep bringing them out like that. And yeah, keep going like that and that. Anywho, so here's one of the main reasons I like this build as well. There's two variants to this build. I don't even know if that's a word. Alright, so, and that's going to be the Stinger Hive. Now, I love this just because, like, if I'm on a legendary mission, I play pretty aggressive with this. Even though Seekers are not a status effect, they don't do any sort of status effect, when you launch these things, when you use the Seekers, you make all the ads dance, okay? So, even though they're not a status effect, they're making the ads not shoot anyone. The ads are acting kind of dumb, and they are just, they're dancing. They're rolling out of the way. They're not shooting anyone. And that alone is, like, really underrated and helpful. So I usually play pretty aggressive with this build. I get in the faces. Now, when I drop a Hive on my person like this, okay, this big circle makes it so, like, ads cannot get to me. Ads cannot approach me. So I actually use this when I'm doing solo content where I like don't want to die. Like I'm doing something solo and I can't die, so if I die then I'm gonna have to respawn type thing. I would use this over a revive Hive in this scenario just because it's gonna murder the ads and I'm never gonna die because ads cannot approach me. So the thing with this as well is, which I think is just really cool, is you can have a healer Hive here to give a whole nother dimension to the build. If you can be a healer and be dropping these Seekers. If you're running legendaries and you don't have heal, then yeah, you can be doing just that right there. And just boom, refreshing these and just healing your team, which I just think takes this build to another level. I actually originally ran the healer, so I was running healer Seeker. It was never really for my heals, it was always to heal like teams. And FYI too, you do get repair skill from Hardwire, and as well there are also mod slots. So you could put in, I have skill haste, that way you get Seekers back because they continue to nerf Seekers. I'm still getting my Seekers in 10 seconds. I think there was a few people saying they didn't even think you could do that anymore. You actually still can, but depending on what you have rolled on your gear, you could be adding more repair skill, like my chest piece for example. I have repair skill here. Maybe I could get rid of some haste, put in more repair skill. I'm already healing people pretty good here. I don't even know what I'm healing people for. Let me take a look here. This is just gonna be with skill haste. Okay. Yeah, it took me a couple ticks, but yeah, you're at least gonna be keeping your team alive in that scenario. And yeah, that's, I think, one of the best parts I like about it. And you know, with your see, I'm not even running like Harmony or something like that, or like In Sync. You could be shooting, you know, with this too. Obviously, you guys know that, though. I'm not going to cover that. This is just, you know, talking about Seekers and why I think that they're still very strong, and how I don't think that enough people are using them as well. Oh, this is actually very important as well, though, too. When you're in like a legendary, I would still use this in the legendary for sure, absolutely. So I would consider like a turret, you know, a turret build just to be better at killing the heavies, right? So when you have the heavies, it's better for the turret to like kill the heavies, right? So you don't have a turret. I want to consider Seekers to be very strong. Actually, the Stinger Hive is pretty strong at killing the heavies though too. Here's the thing. Okay, I'm actually using demo on this. I don't really use demo on this anymore for that extra damage. I actually use the crossbow talent now, the crossbow specialist. Now, in legendaries, I'm always using a crossbow. If you didn't know this, you can shoot a heavy with a crossbow, and he will break. His armor will be breaking. Immediately start taking health. You're basically one shot in the heavy. So that's actually, you know, pretty interesting that even though the turret, you know, kills heavies fast, you know, if I was on a turret build, my turret necessarily wouldn't be killing the heavy either, because even on my turret build, I still have a crossbow. I pull out my crossbow and I shoot the heavy to break him, and he kind of instantly dies. So kind of under the same scenario here, what is happening is when the heavies are coming out, I'm shooting them with the crossbow. They're broke, and I actually already have my stinger hive. This is my heal hive, but I actually already have my stinger hive in position to just kill them immediately. So there's some good argument here that, you know, they're also getting spawn killed. And as well with my stinger hive, you know, when I'm pushing up on doors, this stinger hive is just sitting in front of doors, just spawn killing ads when they come out. And as well, I'm using the crossbow talent, so you know, you're getting you're giving your whole team 10% extra damage to status affected enemies. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, right here it's in your specialization. Right here on screen, group members get 10% bonus damage to targets with status effect, and that also helps build your ammo quicker here. So yeah, you're going to be giving everybody all that extra damage to all these status affected enemies that you're spawn trapping, etc. And on top of that, not only that, but you're also throwing these insane fire grenades at people with the spawn trap. So you got your bleed hive spawn trap in these, and we're talking about legendary. We're talking about legendary spawn trap in here, which is a strong topic. So yeah, you're talking about having the bleed hive in front of the door, and then on top of that, you're throwing fire grenades at them. So these things are bleeding. They're on fire. They're getting, you know, huge damage from stinger hive and seekers. Now, when they're walking out of this door, right, the status effects that are hitting them, the bleed and fire, okay, it's making the ads be stupid, stop, and get clumped, right? So when they're being stupid, stopped, and get clumped, they're almost stuck in the door, right? So when this is happening, when you seeker them, they're all bunched. Okay, I don't know if you can see like numbers here, but that went fast. I don't know if you saw that on screen, but I was hitting between 250 mil and I think it was like 350 mil. We're just gonna say, for example, and I'm gonna do that one more time so you can see those numbers. Now here's the thing, okay? One seeker does that damage. One seeker is gonna do, I'm just gonna say 3 million. It was between 250 and 350. I'm just going to say 3 million, okay? So one seeker is doing 3 million damage, right? And I'm letting out 10 seekers, okay? So you got that number, and they're each doing that damage, right? So I think 3 million times 10, you're going to end up with like 30 million or something like that. But I don't think it just stops at 30 million, because this is why. One seeker hits for the 3 million, right? If there's another ad in range of there, then that enemy is also going to get blasted for 3 million. Okay? So let's say I wasn't letting out 10 seekers. Let's say I was just letting out one seeker, right? When them ads walk out of that door, and I have them on fire, and I have them bleeding, and they're clumped up, and there's 10 ads there, I could throw one seeker, and that one seeker is basically going to do 30 million by itself, just because it's going to hit that one ad and do 3 million to the 10 ads, making the 30 million damage. Now, when they're clumped up like that and they're walking out the door, that's how you can make big damage. Okay, that's just how I see it in the information I have for you. I hope this information helped. I hope I see more people running this build. And you know, as well too, I think diversity is good. Like, I don't necessarily think we need all people running Seekers, even though that is extremely powerful. You're talking about 10 Seekers coming out every 10 seconds per player. That's 40 Seekers every 10 seconds. Okay, at this point we are not even seeing ads because there's Seekers just hunting these things down and instantly killing them. It doesn't take 4 Seekers to kill an ad on Legendary. It probably takes like 2, maybe 3, depending, you know, how hard it hits. So 4 people dropping Seekers should just be annihilating them. Oh, I do remember. So when you have someone running a turret build, I think that, you know, I wouldn't necessarily run all Seekers. If you have someone running like a turret build and you have someone running a Seeker build, I think that's going to complement the group even more. Yep, this is Ape. Please like and subscribe. I'm going to keep coming out with more content. You know the deal. And yeah, keep checking out my videos. And I hope I hit you with some unique information, or information you haven't heard before or haven't heard it like this before. Thanks. I'm out. Take it easy.